All right, so yeah, just making sure we're live. I am going to be doing the first e-collar session with Miss Kimchi here. So I've got a slip leash on her. I'll still probably be doing a little bit of leash pressure. But yeah, we're going to start layering in the e-collar. So I'm going to start her at a 5, and I'm just going to start moving like we've done many times before. So I'm going to stop, hold a little bit of leash pressure, and then turn and go the other way. And I'm going to do this a couple of times without the e-collar, so no e-collar. Just stop, hold a little bit of pressure, and go the other way. She knows this pattern. We've done it many times. So I'm going to stop, pressure, go the other way. And then I'm going to stop, pressure, and go the other way. Yeah, good girl. So do that enough times that I want to make sure the dog kind of gets into the pattern again, just with the leash pressure and the leash pattern. Good. Yeah, a little bit of hesitation. No big deal. We just got out here. Let's go. Good. Maybe a little vocal cue. And then once we've done that enough times, I'm going to start to layer in the e-collar. So I'm going to start her at 5. That's usually where I start. I find most dogs usually end up being somewhere around there in the beginning. And so on this next one, I'm going to stop. I'm going to hold leash pressure. I'm going to give a little tap on the e-collar, and she responded. You see that little head? Her head kind of went out. So I'm going to try it again and see. I don't want it to be aversive, right? So if she has like a big response to it, yeah, like that, I don't want that. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down to 3 actually. And I'm going to tap. So I'm just tapping each time I turn. So I'm going to tap and turn. Good. Yeah. So I'm actually going to go up to 4 now. I want to see how she responds to 4. Seems like she's pretty sensitive. If she's having that big of a response to, so a little tap there on 4. And I tap. And I turn. Good. And I tap. And I turn. A little bit of a response still. Is it aversive though, or is she just trying to figure it out? Hopefully this wind is not going to mess with my microphone. Whew, it's a blustery day, isn't it? Fall blustery day. Good job. Good. So there, I'm just holding leash pressure. Okay, we got some people coming. No dog though. Okay, so we're just gonna keep moving. Little tap and a turn. So each time I turn, I tap. And I hold a little bit of leash pressure. Pressure and turn. And I'm just gonna keep with this pattern. Let's go. Good. Let's go. Good. Hi. What was that? Are you guys venture dog walking? No, I'm a dog trainer. Yeah. Yes, I do.
Hey, hound dog. You have a business name?
I do. I don't know if I can go get it right now. Is the only thing. If you're on Instagram, look me up. I'm Adventure Hounds, North Carolina. You can Google me. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Yeah. Adventure. Yeah, yeah. Not like Venture the dog walking. Different. Adventure. Yeah. Thank you. She's a foxhound, supposedly. I'm not sure. She's a hound of some sort, so it's unclear, but some kind of hound in there. So yeah. Oh, no way. Okay, foxwalker. I've never heard of that. That must be a mix. Yeah. Huh, interesting. Okay, cool. Have a good one, guys. Good. Okay, so for that one, totally fine. You guys couldn't see me because I was off camera, but I did just keep doing the leash patterns, and she got excited, and I was doing a little bit more of like, not trying to drag her, but keeping her moving, right? Like she would kind of linger and I would just be like, I'm just gonna move her. I'm not gonna wait for her to make the choice. Because in that scenario, this girl, we know she gets overly excited with people. She will jump on people. You know, those people got pretty close to us, and so I made sure to make some distance away, because if I let her, she probably would jump all over them. And they might not care, but I care. They seem to like dogs, and they might not care about that, but I care about that because I don't want her jumping, and I know her owners don't want her jumping. So let's go. Yeah, good. She's interested in cars sometimes, which is interesting. I haven't seen, yeah, she's just curious about cars, which can be a little unsafe, so we'll keep an eye on that one. So I'm just sticking to the pattern here, though. We're going back and forth. Each time I turn, I do a little tap on the e-collar. Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, little tap and turn. Yeah, so even if something happens, like an interruption, like neighbors, another dog, whatever it is, even as I'm conditioning this, and when I'm first conditioning this, I don't want a lot of distractions. Like that was fine, no big deal. But I don't want a ton of distractions to happen continuously. And if that happened multiple times, or if there was a lot of people out right now, I'd probably go somewhere else. I'd go like into my backyard or somewhere quieter. Because generally when I'm conditioning it, I want the dog to be, oh, we got a dog coming the other way. Generally when I'm conditioning it, I want the dog to be like under threshold. I don't want a dog to be getting really excited or going into reactions or anything. And so even right now, we've got a dog coming that way. So I'm just gonna move you guys with me, and I'm gonna go to the back of my driveway. Now, I've done this with Kimchi many times. She does still have some level of a reaction when we go to the back of my driveway. Which even with conditioning, again, it's fine. You know, we'll see if my neighborhood really is that busy and I get a lot of people going by, I probably will just go into my backyard. But for right now, we'll just, we'll do this here. Set you guys up, yeah. And then we'll just go into those patterns again. So I go forward, I stop, I tap, and I turn. Good. And I tap, and I turn. And I tap, and I turn. Now I want to share, as this dog goes by, if she has a reaction, I'm not going to go up on the e-collar. I'm just going to focus on leash patterns and leash pressure. And actually, I probably will just forego the e-collar if she has a reaction. I'm not looking for the e-collar to work, quote unquote. I'm not looking to correct her if she reacts. Good. I'm looking for her to move with me in these leash patterns. That's all I'm looking for. And I have a communication system with her around the slip leash, which I might move her slip leash up a little bit because this dog's about to come around the corner. Let's go. I want her to keep moving. I'm not looking to correct her. I'm not looking to tell her she's a bad dog for having a reaction. Yeah. I'm looking for a different pattern in response to another dog. Yeah. So I'm just moving back and forth. So that was actually really nice because she kept moving with me for the most part. And so for me, that was great, actually. Came out of it pretty quickly, way quicker than before. So I think I did do the e-collar through that just out of habit, and I'm doing it right now. So each time I turn, I just tap. Oh yeah, and that little head shake on a 4. So some dogs, yeah, look at that. So some dogs get more sensitive when they get more hyper aroused. I don't see that very commonly. Let me try it once more. At 4. Yeah, a little head shake there. So I'm gonna go down to 3. So yeah, it's an interesting thing that happens. Come on, go to 3. It's an interesting thing that happens to some dogs that they get really sensitive when they go into a dysregulated state, like a reaction. Some dogs get not sensitive and they don't feel the e-collar, and that's when you have to go up on the e-collar. But some dogs, and Kimchi, it sounds like, is one of those dogs, gets really sensitive, and you saw that with those head shakes. Let's go. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move back out into my street. I generally like to do leash work on pavement at first. I also just like to work in my street. That's just my own preference, but I'm gonna look for any dogs. I don't see any. That was good. That was actually really great. So she pops out in front. I'm gonna move her back because she pushed forward and pushed into the end of her leash. All right, get you guys set up again. Yeah, the neighbors just pulled up and she sees that. Okay. All right, we'll tap and turn. All right, so here I'm gonna implement a press and a hold because she's holding pressure into the end of her leash. Good. So at 3, she's at a level 3 right now. All I did was a press and a hold there. Not as a correction, not as an aversive. I'm not doing the boost as of yet. Later on, maybe next week, I might. But here, I'm just gonna hold at 3. I'm just gonna hold the pressure. It's not a correction. You can see it's not aversive for her. Good. And then when she moves back towards me, I release the e-collar, right? So it's so similar to how you would hold leash pressure, right? You hold e-collar pressure when a dog freezes. Here, hold at 3. Good. I might pop her up to 4 because she was working at 4 just before this. So I just popped her up to 4, so now she's at 4. Hold pressure, so hold it at a 4. You can see it's not aversive, but she's feeling it. It's pressure, just like leash pressure. I hold the leash pressure. I hold both of these at the same time. And just knowing that the e-collar only stims for, it's like 2.3 seconds or something. So you might have to, when her nose is down, I'm gonna keep holding until she lifts her nose up there. Because that just, yeah, that's just a little nuance. If a dog is sniffing, I don't always consider that it's them moving with me. Pressure. So I'm holding leash pressure. Good, I'm holding e-collar pressure. When she turns and moves with me, I release the pressure. Yeah, at this point in the conditioning process, I'm not looking to go up, basically. Good, there we go. Just a tap and a turn. And a tap and a turn. Press and hold, yeah, okay. I don't always use a press and a hold with a dog in the beginning. Kind of depends on the dog. Yeah. And tap and turn. Good. And I did just notice her e-collar is kind of slipping down. I generally want the e-collar to stay in between the ears. If it goes down towards the neck, it's not as consistent of a feel. Press and a hold here, especially because there's a car coming. I'm actually going to move her instead of letting her make that choice. Tap and turn, press and hold. Good. So sometimes, like, I'm seeing a lot of the lingering, right? I'm also seeing her use her nose a lot more this session, but I'm seeing a lot more of this right now, you guys can see. And it's very, very likely that she's trying to figure out what that sensation on her neck is. And this is her way of being like, what is that feeling? And so it's super important that I'm consistent with this. I'm holding here. And then as soon as she moves with me, I release. And so she's figuring it out. She's like, what is this new pressure that I'm feeling on my neck? And she's just trying to figure it out. And so I really want to make sure it's not aversive because I want to let her use her brain. Good. And figure out, oh, when I turn and move, that turns the pressure off. Not because it's uncomfortable. Not looking for discomfort. Press and hold. Oh, I thought I just heard a dog. Gonna press and hold here. Yeah, I'm pretty confident this is her being like, what is that feeling on my neck? And what does it mean? Because I'm seeing I'm seeing a lot more of this freezing than I was seeing with the leash pressure yesterday. So that's just something to note. Good. All right, so we're just gonna go do a couple more turns and then we're gonna finish up. About a 15-20 minute session for our first one. Press and hold. This is when I would implement the press and the hold. Oh. Hi Jack, good morning. All right, we're gonna have to move because we got Barney coming out. Oh, yeah. Shh. Okay. All right. gonna go down this way. Okay. Let's go. Shh. Yeah. Shh, 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 shh. Good. Shh, shh, shh. Let's go. Shh, 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 shh. Okay, well done. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Good. All right, friends. So my neighbor came out with his little dog who just had a reaction at Kimchi. And so, of course, Kimchi had actually not too bad of a reaction back. She just got a little hyped. And so all I did was make distance. I just went down the street and just basically walked away. Like, it was messy. I know you guys couldn't see it. I kind of just moved her myself, like just kind of kept her moving away. And now I'm just trying to go back into those leash patterns. I can't get back like in towards my house because we share a driveway with that neighbor. So I'm just doing the tap and the turn. You can still, she's still kind of, look at her tail, right? Her tail's up and high. So you can see she's still kind of hyped. But I'm just trying to go back into these leash patterns. Just tap and turn. Yep, good. Everybody's out this morning. It's a good time to be out here. I usually like my e-collar sessions to be a little bit quieter than this. Oh, she is yanking. Good girl. I mean, not a good girl for yanking, good girl for coming with me because she just moved back with me. Okay, we're gonna try and make our way. Let's see. I want to set you guys up so you guys can see. I'm gonna go like this. Put you guys down in the leaves. Again. That's not gonna work. That is not gonna work. Okay. Alright, well, I'm just gonna have to hold you guys. I don't have anywhere to prop you up. So, tap and turn. Just trying to stick with that pattern still. Tap and turn. And I am actually going to adjust her slip leash because it's fallen down. And so I'm gonna put you guys down. You guys are really just coming with me on a really realistic, very realistic training session. A little tap and a turn. So I just slipped that slip leash up a little bit higher on her because she does yank, and it gives me a lot more control when it's higher up on her neck. Okay, tap and turn. Good. And tap and turn. So my neighbor's going back into his house. He's so cute. He comes out with his little dog, and even though his little dog can be very reactive, they just kind of like walk like to the end of the driveway and back basically, and it's pretty cute. But he's going back in, and so I'm kind of slowly moving back towards the house, and we can still see the dog, and so Kimchi can still see that dog, and you can see her tail still high, but she's moving really nicely with me. I really do like my e-collar sessions to be a lot more uneventful than this, but we're rolling with it. We are rolling with it. So just tap and turn, and just moving back towards my house a little bit. They're still out, so I'm not gonna get super close, but she's doing really well. So, good. Oh, car coming. Busy, busy, busy. And tap and turn. And tap and turn. Yeah, she smells the dog. Oh, bumping into me, girl. And tap and turn. And tap and turn. And tap and turn. So when she goes out like that, I'm gonna press and hold, good, until she moves back with me. This is where I have to rely on that leash pressure too, to know that I've done the leash pressure stuff. Good. Because the e-collar stuff isn't going to work right now. It's the leash pressure stuff that's going to work. Good. Yeah, there's people coming out. Oh my gosh, Sunday mornings, man. Busy, busy, busy. Oh boy. Yeah, we got Barney. Still here. Yeah. Shh. Shh. We're just going to go into the leash patterns. Sometimes you just got to get through it. Yeah. Still just tapping and turning. I think Barney is taking a extra long poop. Let's go. Okay, no worries, Jack. So I am, cutting off eyesight by using the car because he's out with Barney still. I don't know what they're doing, but they're still kind of just out, so I'm just doing my best. Just going back into these leash patterns. Yeah. We were getting there. Yeah. I hear you. Okay, I'm going to set you guys back up on the car now. If I can. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. All right, we're back. All right, she's still hyped. Okay. So, tap and turn. She can still see Barney, the other dog, who has reacted at her multiple times now. So I don't blame her. Yeah. But I'm still sticking to that pattern. Tap and turn. We were doing it, so we're just going to keep doing it. And tap and turn. Press and hold till she moves with me. Good. She might not be feeling the e-collar right now, although she was sensitive before. She's at a 4. Really not worried about the e-collar conditioning right now. I'm really just worried about bringing her out of this hyperarousal. And I'll do that through leash pressure and movement. Press and hold. Dog is now out of sight, so she shouldn't be able to see the dog. Let's go. Yeah, good. So I'm going to do a couple more rounds until she comes down and out of it. And then we're actually going to go inside because I was ready to put her inside before that all happened. You just gotta laugh at it. You gotta not be so attached to it. Even for us as trainers, I think it's easy for, even as a trainer, for me to be like, oh, like, you know, this, I could chalk this up to feeling like it's like not a great session, right? Because she's had a lot of hyperarousal this session. Good. But it's all learning, and she's still learning. She's still learning that, okay, we do these patterns back and forth, and even right now, see how she's coming down and out of it? Let's go. Press and hold. My leash is really twisted. Good. Right now. Tap and turn. To me, it's a success if I can bring her down and out of that hyperarousal. Let's go. I want to keep her moving here. Yeah. Yeah, there's people down there, but no dog. If we see another dog at this point, I'm just going to go inside because once one reaction occurs, another one is so very likely. All right. A little more tap and turns. Tap and turn. Let's go. Good. There we go. A little less of a linger. Kimchi, you're doing great. Welcome to Ardmore, Kimchi, the busiest little neighborhood where there's always a trigger going by here. No matter what your trigger is. Bikes, skateboards, dogs. Okay, for the lingering, I'm going to turn into her and move her back the other way. It's just something to help with the steering. All right, we got a person coming. So I'm just going to start moving her back inside. Yeah, she's come down enough. That was a messy session. Thanks for joining me. She's going to go in her crate and take a nap because that was a lot. Okay, bye.